your pictures of trees, I guess, coincide with my adoration of trees. So it's no surprise that I hone in on your tree pictures.
Yeah.
But I've said to you before that I think there is something about your photographic eye that is a little bit like a lightning rod, you know, like you seem to kind of, in that, you seem to capture something in the moment that, for me, means that when you take that photograph, you're in a kind of almost like an expanded sense of being present to what you're photographing. For me, it feels like a spiritual practice in that level, because you are capturing something essential in those pictures. And I, you know, people will see that, I think, when they see some of your photographs. And the series that really got me were the ones that you took when you were in New York State in the winter, and you were going out and you were photographing a lot, actually, of the forest floor. A lot of the time you were photographing the forest floor, and some people might say, well, that's hardly glamorous, or is that really that interesting? But those photographs, for me, were some of the best ones that you've taken.
Yeah.
So can you just say a little bit maybe about that, about those and your process with those?
Basically, it's seeing it, but then, oh my God, suddenly you see that bit of lichen, or that, you know, that fungus, and in perspective with something else, you know, or the way the tree has broken or been cut, or, you know, the pain it might have been in, or, you know. And the other thing that's really interesting is the relationship it has to other trees. Isn't that interesting? You know, how close other trees are, you know, and how they need each other. I get that. I really get that.
What do you need? What would you say are the ingredients that create the conditions for that becoming a kind of a practice that resources you in that way? What do you bring to it? What does it? Where do you meet it?
I think it's about going slowly.
Right.
Going slowly.
Because you're naturally very fast.
Yeah,
you know, in the way that you speak, the way you express, the way your mind can move. But go on. So
I noticed,
slow you down.
That I went to a place, for instance, where I've just been in New England, and I realized that I could spend an hour within a 12 feet, or, you know, call it 10-meter area. You don't need to walk through the forest. You just need to stop and just look and say, okay, I'm just looking what is exactly around me now.
Yes.
And not walk through the forest, you know, just stop. Yes. And then think, what can I notice within my range, you know, yes. where I'm standing, what I can see, things growing, you know, new shoots. I mean, already now, say the spring's coming and you see those shoots. And then you can see some fungus, and you can see some footsteps, and you can see some grass, and, you know, the bark has come off that tree, and it's, oh, the patterns in bark. I mean, where, you know, I get so excited about that. You know, I think one of the photographs I've given you is an eye. Have you seen that big eye?
Yes, I have. I know the one you mean.
I mean, it's noticing things like that. And that was because I walked around the tree. Yeah. And that has taught me as well. Often what's behind me is magnificent. I thought, oh, thank goodness I turned around, you know, instead of walking in one direction. If you see a tree and you just think, wow, you know, that's really interesting. And then you walk around the tree, on the other side of the tree, you know, the bark's fallen off, or, you know, a woodpecker's made a hole in it. I love that. You know, I think, wow, the interlinking of the exchange
yes.
Of it all, nature and what the tree is giving, and you know, that to me is a find. You know, it's like finding yes. treasure when yes. you see the woodpecker's made a hole in a tree.
What were the affordances of stopping and being in that little square for that hour? How were you different afterwards? You know, what did it offer you as an organism?
I promise you, we just get back to the original thing. It's a richness, and it's knowledge. It's seeing becomes knowledge, because you notice, by noticing, you grow. and by noticing, well, in my case, I get this incredible high, you know, it sends me into a state of happiness.
Yes.
By seeing.
Yes.
By noticing, sends me, into a definite improvement of my mental state.